Hey guys, welcome to A Taste for Life, and to today's video, something I eat in a day in anorexia recovery as someone who already had a really fussy palate before their eating disorder and several sensory intolerances around food. So what I'm going to be making today incorporates avocado, and this is something that I tried really recently using the exact same recipe that I'm doing today, which I didn't love, but I didn't hate. So I'm going to keep pushing myself and trying to give it more and more chances. But essentially what I did was I began with profiling the avocado. So I looked online and I researched it and I thought, what are the flavors that go with avocado? What does it actually taste like? And it was very daunting for me because one of the things about avocado is that the texture itself looked really good to me, but the actual look of it, the green and the hard skin and stuff was really unappealing. Also, when I looked it up, some people were saying that it has an earthy flavor, and that to me sounds terrible. I don't want to eat anything that tastes earthy. But then other people were just saying that it tastes quite creamy. And I was like, well, creamy is nice. Creamy is good. But I thought, especially for the first time that I'm going to have it, I really want to make sure that it's with flavors that I'm familiar with, and it's in a clever way that if I'm going to try it, it's given me the best chance of liking it. So what I decided to do was make oats with avocado and vegemite. Now I know that sounds like a really weird combination, and I told my sister about this the other day and she was like, good on you for trying it, but why the oats and the Vegemite? And one of the common things I saw when looking online was that avocado goes really well with Vegemite. And Vegemite is a funny thing because so many people can't handle the taste of Vegemite. And it's funny that my very fussy palate actually loves Vegemite and has since I was younger. So I'm like, I'm going to jump on that and I'm going to put Vegemite with avocado. And the reason I'm using oats instead of like a slice of bread, which is usually how people would eat avocado, I guess, is because oats, when cooked with water, is a very blank canvas, the same way that bread is. And I don't think I'd love the texture of avocado on bread. Like, I'm okay with spread on bread, but avocado is just that bit thicker, and the thought of it together grosses me out. So I'm just gonna stick with my oats and my Vegemite and my avocado. So I don't know if anyone's ever noticed, but in the background of my videos, there's usually this giant cupcake over here, and it's actually just a cozy for the kettle. So I've just boiled some water, and it's crucial for the next part of what I'm gonna be doing, which is both the oats and the Vegemite. So both the oats and the Vegemite really require boiled water. And I know Vegemite shouldn't really need water because it's a spread, but what I like to do is just melt it down a little bit. And I find it turns it into a more watery sauce, because to try and mix in a clump of Vegemite is kind of difficult when you're competing with the graininess of oats. So what I do is I just get a teaspoon or a little bit of Vegemite, and I put it in a bowl, and then I add a little bit of boiling water, and I just stir it around in there until it kind of dissolves into the water, and you get kind of a really just brown looking water almost. And it depends how much water you add, so I don't necessarily have a particular measurement that I use every time. But if I want the consistency a little bit more runny, I will add more water, obviously. Otherwise, if I want it a bit thicker, like if I'm going to put it on a piece of bread instead, I'll just add a little bit of water. And I do this on my slices of bread when I have Vegemite as well. But that's more because I don't love when you add thick spreads like Vegemite to a slice of bread or a slice of toast or whatever you're doing. I don't love how it breaks the bread. And doing it this way means it's just easier for me. I usually use one of those brushes, cooking brushes, just to paint it on essentially. And it keeps the bread nice and intact, and I really appreciate that. So that's what my Vegemite now looks like. It's just a bowl of brown water essentially. And what I'm gonna do is add the avocado pieces to the bowl and just mash it in. And another thing actually that this process is helping me by trying new foods, and especially this avocado, is touching it. Because as you can see, this is super slimy and really not fun to handle. I don't love getting my hands messy in the kitchen. I love to cook and I love to bake, but this kind of stuff is not my favorite. So I've always got paper towel handy as well, which is helpful in the process. But even just the exposure of being able to touch these things is a leap forward for me. So now we've got the avocado in there, and the way I blend it is just with a fork. I guess you could do it with a food processor and something like that, but the way I see it is that a food processor is gonna blend it in like a more efficient way, but be such a harder dish to wash. And I'm all about the ease when it comes to washing my dishes. So I'm just going to use a fork here instead today and just mash it all together until I've got like a better consistency. And I'm not too fussy about the end result of the consistency of this mix, just because I know it's going to be blended in with my oats anyway. So it's not a particular fuss of mine. However, I do like to have the avocado smashed up as much as possible, just because it kind of disguises the lumpiness that you sometimes get when it's not exactly cut up and smushed the way that I'm doing it, like as thoroughly as I'm doing it, I guess. And this just really helps with the textural side of things. But for the oats itself, you'll see in a moment, I'm just going to portion out half a cup of oats for this recipe, which I believe is about the standard 40-gram size anyway. And I probably won't use this entire bowl of paste. I might, but it just depends. I don't want to overflow the oats with too much of this either, because I quite enjoy the taste of oats and I like being able to just taste them in the background, and Vegemite in particular is quite an overpowering flavor. But since I didn't love this recipe in the first place, I'm just a little bit more cautious to the avocado flavor as well. And like I said, I've tried it and I didn't love it, but the reason I keep persisting with it is because of the health benefits that I know in avocados. Like, they're such a good source of fat, like good healthy fats. And I just think it would be a really nice addition to my meal plan. And I also think when I'm trying to challenge my palate anyway and my fussy eating, sometimes it's helpful to remind myself that I'm not going to like everything the first time I try it. And if I don't absolutely hate it, it's okay to try it a few more times before I completely just write it off altogether. So that's what I'm doing today. And if I don't love it, or if I still have the same reaction as last time, I might even give it one more chance and then just like call the quits on the avocado, but we'll see. Maybe I had the wrong ratio of Vegemite to avocado to oats, so I'll play around with it a little bit today. Like I said, my Vegemite and avocado mix last time was slightly different in the sense that I think my Vegemite may have been less diluted, so I wonder how that's gonna change the shape of today's outcome in this recipe. But we'll have a look. I'm just mixing the oats together, and obviously for this, because it's a savory dish, I'm going to use water to mix my oats and not milk. So again, my sister's reaction when I first told her about this combination is, why? That would be so disgusting, like oats and milk and Vegemite and avocado. I'm like, no, I'm not putting milk in there. This is like a savory version. Because I guess most people are used to putting milk in their oats, but I'm just putting water. So essentially it tastes like a very, very chopped up piece of bread anyway. But yeah, that looks about right to me. I like to leave it a little bit thicker as well, just because the mix is going to, again, help it to dissolve a little bit. So I'm just going to pour that in, and I'll just eyeball as we're going. I mean, I think I'm going to end up putting it all in anyway. I might as well, you know, just try it all, throw it all in there, chuck that in the sink, wipe my hands, and mix again. Now, I don't remember last time if I ended up adding a little bit of salt, because I feel like that might be a natural, like, in flavor enhancer of the avocado in particular. But then I don't remember, because at the same time, Vegemite is quite a salty taste if you've ever had it. So I probably wouldn't have needed to add salt. I don't know. But I'm going to try it again. Fair warning, I might make a face. Not to discredit anyone who likes avocado or this combination or whatever, but I mean, it looks okay. That's what it looks like altogether. So I love the fact that I can't actually see the green of the avocado as well, because I think that's one of my biggest deterrents when it comes to avocado is the color of it. It's just the ugliest looking thing. I'm sorry. It's just bleh. But yeah, let's give it a go for the next time. Okay. So I think I got a good spoon, perhaps, because all I can taste is the Vegemite and the oats, which actually wouldn't bother me. Maybe if I use this amount of avocado, because last time I think I used a little bit more. Maybe if I use this amount, I can still get the health benefits of it without having to taste it as much. Because really, the only reason I'm persevering with the avocado is, again, to reinforce the fact that I can eat something if I don't particularly love it. And it may turn out that one day my palate changes to adapt and does love it. But also for the health benefits. Like, it's a good source of healthy fat. It's got so many vitamins and minerals. I'm just like, yeah, let's get on the avocado. Plus, it's something I could have out as well, because for me, I really struggle with going to restaurants and finding things to eat. And that's not eating disorder related, because even before my eating disorder, the only thing I could get at restaurants was hot chips. So even to be able to do what I do now, which is sometimes I'll get like toast with eggs on the side or something, like step up for me. I was never able to do that before. And I've even got like roast potatoes instead of chips. I know that's not like a major leap forward, but I've done that before. I even have like pizza sometimes at restaurants. So another thing that's really, really common, especially in Melbourne, is on the menu, there'll always be like avocado on toast. So maybe if I end up liking this a bit more, then the next thing I can do is try the avocado on toast. But if I end up liking it, it'll be a good recipe that I can have and a good food that I could have when I'm out as well. So it's a win-win kind of situation. Just with that bite, again, all I tasted is the Vegemite and the oats, so I'm really pleased, and I might just remember the fact that I used a little less avocado. But yeah, this is a really different concoction. I know a lot of people would think it's really strange, but what I love to do with the new foods that I'm trying is surround them by flavors that make sense by profiling the new addition. So in this case, it was the avocado, finding out that it goes well with Vegemite, and then thinking instead of the bread, which I know I won't like on it, what else could I use? Being the plain oats. But I also just love to create things visually. I know not everything has to be beautiful, but when texture is an issue for you, being able to see that this is nice and smooth and consistently whisked together makes it so much easier for me to consume. And again, the fact that I can't see that it's green is amazing, because if it looked really, really green and earthy and I had that in the back of my head, I don't think I'd like it as much. But yeah, I'll give this, I think last time I gave it a D, and this time I'm going to give it a C. So I think I'm improving, and I think it's something I'll try again. But until my next wacky creation or the next new thing that I try, I'll speak to you later. Bye!